Hi there, Sir Wilbur here, and I will share something valuable to make sure that you will be Internet awesome. Have you ever posted something in your social media account and later have regrets in posting it? Of course, you can delete it, but it is also possible that someone might have read it before you removed it. Do you share memes or funny videos for fun? Have you considered that someone might get offended? The convenience of using the internet has become part of our daily lives, which helps us communicate, share photos and videos, and post something about ourselves easily. But in the online world, we need to be extra careful. We need to have the ability to control what information we will share about ourselves and whom we will allow to see and reshare it. And that refers to online privacy. Your name, home address, phone and mobile number, social security number, and email address are your personal information. It's a good idea to make a rule for yourself not to share this kind of information online. Aside from keeping your personal information, we must also take care of our reputation because these are the ideas, opinions, impressions, or beliefs that other people think or have about you. We must also consider what others will feel based on our posts. Different situations call for different responses, online and offline. It's always important to respect other people's privacy choices, even if they aren't the choice you'd make yourself. Also, be careful with the simple codes that you send, like emojis, because it represents a certain meaning or message which may uplift the reader's emotion or the other way around. Have you heard of the word oversharing? It refers to sharing personal information or just too much about yourself in a certain situation or conversation online. What's the risk? You might become so familiar in doing it that you are unaware that you are already sharing information about your private life. This is harmful not just for you, but also to your loved ones. The internet can be a safe or a dangerous place for us. It will really depend on how we will utilize it. Take time to think and read your post a couple of times before you share it in the World Wide Web. And remember, it's better if you will always think before you click. But it's better.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Match. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Tutor Arnel. Your microphone is still not on, Tutor Arnel.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I am just so happy to see you. That's why I even forgot to unmute my microphone.
Yes, so everybody, I am welcoming myself back in ETUlay. I'm very
Yeah,
sorry
welcome.
for being what do you call that? Out of the out of the scene for a couple of weeks. I have to attend to some very important matters, of course. But
Yes.
I am back. That's what matters now. And I would like to greet the 101 live viewers that we have.
Wow.
So there are really a lot of students watching us. So hi, good afternoon, a blessed Tuesday afternoon to all our parents, our teachers, our learners, of course, who are always with us every Tuesday afternoon. And of course, I would also like to greet a very special afternoon to my partner here, Tutor Arnel. So we are both
Yes.
from SDO Pasig, and we will always be your guide every Tuesday. That's from 1:40 to 2:20 p.m. And this is always for online tutorial for English 7. So, how? Kamusta, Tutor Arnel?
Well, to the Dre's, I was able to have a very wonderful vacation. And of course, bago magbakasyon, we missed you so much. I can attest to
Yeah.
that because I think all of our students love you being here again.
Yes, I had a really sulit na bakasyon, 'di ba? Although it's not something
Mm.
that nice, 'di ba? Dahil I have to spend it at the hospital. But at least
Mhm.
what matters is that I'm back and
That's
I'll
right.
I'll spring back, of course. So let us now continue with a very special afternoon today. So we have prepared something very special for our dear cuties this afternoon.
That's
Tutor
right,
Ardell?
Sir Trace. Yes, of course. So we have prepared you some activities about our past lessons. So I know that you can answer all of them very easily. Ano, kasi of course, Tutor Drazel was able to explain everything well and naintindihan natin yung mga lessons, right? Okay, so I guess we have to go to the next slide and see our card here. So welcome back, mga ka-ETUlay. So actually, we just got it from Tutor Mag's shared post and we edited it. Instead of week 6, we changed it to week 8. All right, so quarter
Yes.
2, week 8. So week 8 na
Yes.
pala, Tutor Jace, no?
Yes, this will be
Ang
our
bilis.
last week for quarter 2. And actually, that's tomorrow. I think that we are going to start with, next week, I mean, we're going to start with quarter 3. So,
That's
ang bilis,
right.
ano? Ang bilis.
Ilang araw na lang matatapos na naman ng school year.
Yes. We only have 2 quarters left. So, ang bilis na
Right.
niyan.
So our
So,
ETUlay students
let's,
will become grade 8.
yes, let's
And
have
the
our
other,
next slide. Ayan.
right.
Ayan.
Okay,
So,
so
this for February 12, 19, and 26. So we are going to celebrate, of course, the National Arts Month 2022. Now, this is something that is not just celebrated by the MAPE department. Of course, the arts would always concern all of us, diba? You know, Filipinos always love the arts. Talagang very
mhm,
artistic, very creative. And for this year, we are going to have this theme, Sining ng Pag-asa. You know, the
pag-asa.
pandemic will always be about hope, diba? It's not just about
That's
the
correct.
bad things that are happening, but there's always hope in everything that we are having. All the challenges that we are having, there will always be an end to that. So, very timely yung theme ng National Arts Month because it says Sining ng Pag-asa. And of course, sa ETUlay, DepEd ETUlay, is holding a lot of activities very much
Right.
in store for our tuties. So, Tutor Ernel, let's have the next activities for our tuties.
Okay, so for our activity, so we have our focal person. So our next slide will show that. So well, we do have for kindergarten to grades 1 to 3. So to our elementary learners who are fond of art, so we do have music, vocal, solo. We have physical education, TikTok dance, and for arts we have creative drawing. So kindly look at our screen right now and look for the following focal persons. So let's
Yes.
go to the next slide, please. All right, so Tutor Drazel.
Yeah, so for grades 4 to 6, this will still be for our elementary learners. So if you have siblings, mga younger brothers and sisters, or
Yes.
friends, you can post this on your Facebook page. So we have, for music, we have solo instrument. And then for physical education, we have hip hop dance. And then for
Mhm.
arts, for grade 4, we have poster making. For grade 5, we have painting. And for grade 6, we have photo essay. So
All
please do
right.
have a screenshot for you to have the names of the focal persons. And
Right.
for our next slide,
Yes, so this I guess are for the for the high school, for the junior and high school learners. So we have for music virtual himig kundiman. For physical education, we have OPM dance exercise. And for arts, we have Ekultura, Rampa Feast ng Pinas. So just like what
Yeah.
your Dre said, just take a screenshot of it for you to know the focal persons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ako this
Exciting.
would be my promise to my students, no. So if they join ETUlay, okay, if they would join ETUlay contest like this month,
Mhm.
National Arts Month, definitely I will give them plus points sa card, 'di ba?
Wow.
Because this is something that they need to do for to relieve the stress, 'di ba? And
Right.
the arts will always be relieving our stress. So this is something nice to do. Yan, promise ko
Yep.
yan, students, ha? Sige, let's have the next slide.
Okay, so I guess the next slide would just be introducing us that quarter two, week 8 is review. So with us, of course, me and Tudor Trazel. So
Oh,
for our module references, which will be shown on the next slide, so we would like to thank the following not people, but that's the what's this one, the SDOs, and of course our central office who provided. So for DepEd Calabarzon, and of course for DepEd Soc Surgeon for the modules that we use the entire second quarter.
and the next slide, of course, will show our objectives. So at the end of the session, you will be able to do the following. So first, for our objective of the mind, you will be recalling the topics and the concepts learned from this quarter. And then we also have the objective of the heart, and that would be to relate the importance of the topics and concepts learned in this quarter to everyday life. And our topic or our objectives for the skills is to manifest learning of the lessons for the second quarter through active virtual class participation. So we will all be doing this in our review sessions for this afternoon. So let's have the next slide. Ayan,
Yay!
the most awaited for our awarding. So before we begin with our awarding, let us first congratulate everybody who will be chosen or who were chosen as amazing tutees for second quarter. Of course,
Mhm.
me and Tutor Arnel, we decided on this matters because there are really a lot of tutees who are very, very good and very, very participative if we can
Right.
only give awards to all of you. So this is what you're going to do. There will be a surprise and this will be explained by Tutor Arnel. Ayan, Tutor Arnel, you tell
Yes.
them the surprise.
All right. So, well, of course, we will be flashing the names of the students whom we, all right, Tudor Drazel and I chose to be our awardees for our second quarter. Now, those students who will be mentioned here or those students who will be given the award shall be sending us a message through PM, and then we are going to give you our token of appreciation. Okay, so
And
we
of
will.
course, that would be a surprise.
Right. They will just find it out once that they sent us a message through
Yes.
Messenger.
Yes, that's true. But of course, whatever the surprise will be, that will always be coming from our hearts, and that will be a sign of
Yes,
our sincerest gratitude. So
that's
let us
right.
start with our first amazing duty for the second quarter. Let's have
Okay.
the first awardee.
The
And so
first
you will be also
awardee.
receiving that.
Okay.
Okay. So our first amazing tuty is none other than Chelsea Kate Villegas of Grade 7 Accountability. She's from Baruya High School. That's from Lubao, West District, as far as SDO Pampanga.
Wow.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Chelsea.
Elsie. Yes.
Okay,
So
let's
she
have
really
our
sent her assignment.
next awardee. Tutor Nell.
All right. So our next awardee is from, okay, let's go back to the previous slide. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's Renz Guyver Calianta, grade 7 mark from Imelda Integrated Secondary School, SDO Malabon. So he really sent all of his assignments for the second quarter. All right, congratulations, Renz Guyver, for sending and giving much effort to your assignments in our ETUlay sessions. Okay, let's see the next.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Oh,
congratulations.
let's have the third one. So the third amazing duty is from Mangahan High School, SDO Pasig, from grade 10 Aeolus. we have Genio Von Morales.
All right,
Congratulations.
congratulations, Janio. And our next
Next.
awardee. Okay,
Next slide, please. Oh,
our next awardee is also from grade 10 Aeolus, Reese Lorraine B. Hibe from Mangahan High School, SDO Pasig. So congratulations, Lorraine.
congratulations. And then our next awardee would be also from Mangahan High School, grade 10 Eolos. We have John Michael H. Yangpo. Congratulations.
Congratulations, John Michael. And our next
And
awardee.
next,
So we will be giving an award to Danette Ogan Satao, also from grade 10 Aeolus, Mangahan High School, SDO Pasig. Congratulations, Danette.
congratulations. Next, for our next awardee, we have Ella Marie Di Magila of grade 10 Eolos, Mangahan High School. Congratulations, Ella.
Congratulations, Ella.
And then we have the next.
Okay, so we have Rizel Caballero, grade 10 Aeolus Mangahan High School, SDO Pasig. So
Okay. And
congratulations.
of course, our last awardee is, of course, not the least, because we have our top performing tutee who is no longer a student, diba? Tutor Ernel, I was
Yes.
telling you about him a while ago. He was really a very inspiring student. He was
And
my
very
former
impressive.
student when he was in college, and now he is already reviewing for for the licensure
Wow.
exam for teachers. And I am very hopeful that and very positive that he will of course pass the board exam. So our top
Mhm.
performing tutee is none other than Mr. Mark Alvin M. Platon.
Wow, congratulations,
Congratulations,
Mark.
Mark!
Wow. So,
Yan.
masisipag talaga.
Oo, sobrang sipag, hindi na nag-aaral, pero still, di ba? And of course, we are encouraging everyone. Of course, we will always be having our awarding at the end of every quarter. So this third quarter, so patuloy lang po, be participative and submit your assignments because that's one thing that we always look into also, di ba? The assignments. So you will also be our next amazing tutor this
That's right.
quarter. So, wag mawawala ng pag-asa.
Mm.
You will be the next. So, for those who were awarded, please don't forget, you may start sending us a PM, my
Mhm.
Tutor Grace or my personal account, and of course, the personal account of Tutor Ernel. So, you will know your surprise
Yung
prize.
pala surprise.
Okay.
Ganun lang.
Yeah. It's actually a GIF saying
Yeah.
surprise. Okay. So you get surprised. No, no, no. That's just a joke. Please start sending your PM. Ayan.
That's
Niloloko lang
right.
kayo ni Sir Arnel.
Galing.
Okay. So let's now begin our next, the next part. So our next part for our tutorial session this afternoon will be the review time. So like what Tutor Arnel has mentioned a while ago, we will have some activities about our past lessons. So we have 7 lessons and we're going to have all these this afternoon. So let's try to check if you still remember those things that we have discussed to you for a couple of weeks now. So we will be starting with quarter two, week one, and our topic for that week is to use listening strategies based on purpose of the short texts listened to. So let us have our activity tutorial for the next slide.
All right. So we're supposed to be having a quick explanation of it, but since we are concising the time because it's a lot, I guess we are just going to give you an idea what the quiz would be all about. So yung susunod na activity will be about the key active listening techniques. All right. So I guess we can go now to the next slide po.
And so
Ayan.
yan, we have some
All right. So
ideas here so you would remember them.
right? So it's all about the key active listening skills that we have to listen very carefully because it could be distorted. We should not be interrupting any messages for you to fully understand it. Yung body language and gestures, it's very important for you to understand what you are listening to. And at the same time, yung active listening is actually encouraged because you show respect and understanding to the person who is talking. And as a listener, your role is to understand what is being said by the speaker. So just like what we are doing right now, you will not be able to get a good score pag di tayo nakikinig ng mabuti. Right? So let's now start our review.
Activity.
That's right. So what you're going to do is to type the choices, I guess, are yes or
Yes
no.
and no.
All right, yes or no. So, dear students, you may start typing in your keyboards now. What do you think is this statement? Would you agree to this or not? Hand movements and facial reactions can affect listening. So, if you think that it can affect listening, you type yes. And if you think that it doesn't affect listening, you type no. Right?
So
So, hand
our
movements.
first one. Okay, so number one, we have hand movements and facial reactions can affect listening. Is it a yes or a no? So type in your answers. Write the number first before you type in a yes or a no. So we now have answers here. We have Clara with a yes, Manilyn with a yes, Maria Angelica with a yes, Harvard with a yes, John Joseph with a yes. So all of them said that it's a yes. What is the correct answer, Tutor Arnell?
Let's see. The correct answer is. Okay, one more click and we will know the answer. Yes is the
Yes,
correct
very good.
answer.
So
Okay, so
let's
let's.
now have the second one. Number two, okay, Tutor Arnell.
Now, reacting to the speaker by saying or yes is a good sign of active listening. So, yes or no.
We now have an answer from Arvik. It's a yes. And let's wait for the others. And some people are still answering with number one. So we have Alriza with a yes, Julia with a yes, William Henry with a yes, Katrina with a yes. What is the correct answer for number two?
Okay, so for number two, the correct answer is yes.
Yes,
Very good.
very good. Let's now have number three. Number three. Okay, for number three, interruptions help us to develop active listening. Is this a yes or a no? Type in your answers now. Please don't forget to write number three. Okay, number three, yes, or number three, no. So we have now from Arvik, it's a no. Alriza with a no. Paula with a no. Rhea with a no. Alexandra with a no. And John Louis with a no. And the rest also with a no. What is the correct answer for number three?
Let's
And
find out.
so let's have one click for number three.
Interruptions.
Yeah, and so the correct answer is a no. You got correctly. Let's
Good
have
job.
number four. Tutor now.
So number four is we must reflect on what we heard first before we react. We must reflect on what we heard first before we react. Is it a yes or a no?
Ang bibilis ng mga cuties natin. May sagot agad sila. So we have Alriza, we have RC, we have Julia, with Francis, Andrea, Katrina, Nicole, JM, Mary Rose, Alexandra, Nino, all with a yes. What
Mhm.
is the correct answer for number four?
Right, so the slides would reveal. Let's have another click. Yes is the
Number
correct answer.
four. Thank you very much for those correct answers. Let's now have number five. Number five. Yan. So for number five, we have personal filters, assumptions, judgments, and beliefs won't affect listening. Is it a yes or a no? What do you think is the correct answer for number five?
Mhm.
Okay. Yes or no? Number five for Arvik is a no. And then Samantha also with a no. Janiel, no. Danette, no. John Louis, no. No. Alriza, no. Julia, no. Let's have The correct answer would be no. Very good. So let's now move on to our next activity. This time we're going to have quarter two, week two, using the search engine to locate information.
All right. So,
Let's have the
well,
next slide.
let's find out what this topic is all about. Okay. So, Tutor Drays, will you be the one to?
So let's, if you still remember, these are the search engines that we discussed before during week two. So we will
Mhm.
now have a review of the activities. If you still remember them, let's have the next slide. Ayan. So a search engine, don't forget that it's a website where users can search content. So you use them for research, you use them in answering your assignments, of course. And now the direction is again to type yes or no. So talagang pinadali na namin to, ha. So
Mhm.
yes or no. So yes if it's correct and no if not. Let's proceed with the activity on the next slide. So number one, Tutor Nell.
All right, so for number one, a search engine is a website, all right, where users can search content from the internet. So what do you think, students? Is it a yes or a no? A search engine is a website where users can search content from the internet.
And they already have answers here. And of course, all of them answered that it's a yes. Is it a yes, Tutor Arnel?
Okay, let's find out. The slide would reveal it. So let's see. The answer for number one is
A
okay, a
yes. Very
yes.
good. So, Almira, Crystal, Judah, Alexandra, Francesca, Nino, and Clara, you got it correctly. So, let's proceed with number two.
Mm.
And number two, using keywords can help you narrow down your online search. Is this a yes or a no? Okay. Let's have the answers for number two. Arvik, ang bilis ni Arvik, ha? Keyboard warrior to, ha? So, Arvik says it's a yes. Lorraine, yes. Samantha, yes. Yancy, yes. Princess, yes. Althea, yes. Andrea, yes. Is it a yes? Okay, you got it correctly. So, number two is a yes. Let's have number three. Yeah, number three, Tutor Nell.
All right, so Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox are examples of search engines. So is that a yes or no?
So, let's see if they already got answers for number three. Number three, Samantha, yes. Arvik, yes. Yancy, yes. Okay, Nicholas, yes. John Lawrence, yes. Clara, yes. Andrea, yes. Danette, yes. Is it a yes or a no? Let's reveal the correct answer in our slide. It's a no.
Hmm.
Parang
Okay.
tayo doon, ha? Okay, so Tutor Arnel, ayan. So, is Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox examples of search engines?
Wait up.
Wait lang po. Okay, let us check the answer. Okay,
Oh,
so they
okay.
are
They
okay.
are
They
not
are web.
yeah, that's right.
They
That's
are
right.
actually web browsers.
Browsers, yeah.
Yes. So number four. Let's have number four. Yeah, reliable offline sources can be used to double check information found online. Ayan. So let's have the answer for number four. Is it a yes or a no? Number four, we have Arvik again with a yes. And Alexandra, Alriza, John Michael with a yes, Samantha with a yes, and Francesca with a yes. What is the correct answer for number four? Okay, the correct answer is a yes. Very good. So let's now proceed with our last item for week two. Tutor Nell?
Now, Google, Bing, and Yahoo are examples of popular web browsers. So, what is this? Is this a yes or a no?
Let's have Alriza already got an answer, and it's a yes. Okay, for number five. And so with Lorraine says it's a no. John Lewis a no. Rhea with a no. Ayan, Alriza with a yes. So let us check who among them is correct. Is it really a yes or a no for number five? Let us reveal the answer. It's a no. Okay.
Yes.
So
That is
yeah, and so let us check if you got five in our week two review exercises. Please send us a heart in the comment section if you got
mhm.
a five. Let's see if there is how many got a five. Okay, and we now have hearts for the week two. While we are waiting for their hearts, we now proceed with the next slide.
Mhm.
Congratulations, John Vic and Krisha and Rhea for getting a five. So for quarter two, week three, we now have information sources. So let us proceed with the next slide.
All
Tutor
right,
now.
so let us click the slides until everything appeared on it. So of course, in our lesson, we have different kinds of sources. So sources we can find from the library and sources that we can find from the search engines. Now there are differences between the two. When we talk about the library resources, these are the resources that are not relying on the power of the internet or with the electricity. So kahit walang ilaw, kahit walang electricity, you can still access it. And the information is considered to be more reliable by other people. Well, of course, for search engines, the information is always up to date, syempre. But of course, even though it's always up to date, you still have to check on its reliability. And both of these are considered to be sources of information. So let's begin with our activity.
Okay, let's now have the activity for types of information sources. Ayan. These are still
And
some infographics on about the different types of information sources. So
yan,
we
so
have
yung mga
books, we have encyclopedia, we have, of course, journals and the database and magazines, internet, library catalog, and the newspapers. Just to refresh our ideas about it. So let's proceed
right.
with our activity on the next slide.
So it's just the same thing as the other activities. You are going to type yes or no. If you think that it's correct, you have to type yes. And if it's not, then you're going to type no. So for number one, we don't need to record all the sources we used. Doing so will save us time at the end of our assignment. So what do you think, students? Is it a yes or a no?
Okay, so we now have answers from Arvik, from Samantha, from Lorraine, and Danette. They are saying it's a no. So let's reveal the answer for number one. The
Let's
correct answer
reveal.
is a no. Very good. Next, for number two, we have information source is a database of facts of anything that might inform a person about any given topic. So is it a yes or a no? Let's have the answers for number two. So, and we now have an answer, and it's a yes. Okay, so Arvik got the correct answer. That's a yes.
And
And number
Samantha as well.
three,
Number three, internet allows us to
Darnell.
access most types of information through a browser. So is it a yes or a no?
So while we are waiting for, we now have Yan, we now have some answers here from JM and from John Stephen and Nicole and Jerry and Alexandra, and they're saying it's a yes. Let's reveal the correct answer for number three. It's a yes.
All
Very good.
right.
Let's now proceed with the next one. Number four. So
Okay.
books are sources of reliable and accurate information because they have gone through the process of publication. Is it a yes or a no? What is your answer for number four? Arvic is a yes. Ang galing nito si Arvic, ano? Lakas ng
Mhm.
internet niyo ba, Arvic? Laging number one sa finish line. Okay, so Ezel also says it's a yes. With a yes. Via with a yes. Okay, so is the correct answer for number 4 a yes? Let's find out. Number 4, please reveal. Ayan, number 4 is a yes.
Oh,
Okay,
tama.
let's now
Very
have
good.
number 5. Talagang natatandaan nila yung mga lessons natin. So
Kakatuwa
number
na to
5,
Grace. So number 5.
yes. Every piece of information requires careful consideration. Is this a yes or a no? Let's let's wait for the answers. Yan, Samantha is with a yes. John Kevin with a yes. TJ with a yes. Augie with a yes. Oriza with a yes. So what is the correct answer for number 5? And it's a yes.
Right,
Very good.
congratulations. Tamang mga sagot.
Congratulations. Yes. Oo, natatandaan nila lahat talaga. And so we proceed with our next week, quarter 2, week 4. This time we have using several sources to research a topic. So let's find out if you still remember the lesson discussed during week 4. And this is about the different types of sources. So if you still remember, we had 3 types of sources. We have primary, we have secondary, and we have tertiary sources. And to explain more about this, sige, let's have the next slide. And so primary sources are first-hand accounts, raw data, and other original materials. So that means that they are authentic materials and have not been evaluated or assessed. Now, how about the next slide? This is another type of source. Yeah, so we have examples here like diaries, we have interviews, and then we have photographs and works of literature. And then for the next slide, we now have a different type, tutorial.
All right, so for the other type of sources, we have the secondary sources that are sources describing, interpreting, or analyzing primary sources. Yun. So these are often written or presented by authors who did not witness an event or occurrence personally. Yun pala yun. That's why it's called secondary sources. And
Yeah.
the following examples, it will be revealed on the slides. Okay, so the following examples that we have here are dissertations, journals, bibliographies, and textbooks. Yan.
Yeah, so now you see the difference between primary and secondary, but we have a third type of source, and that would be on the next slide, which is the tertiary sources. So these are used to organize and locate primary and secondary sources. So this classification includes indices, abstracts, bibliographies, directories, and databases. And we have some examples here. Let's reveal. We have dictionaries, encyclopedias, and handbooks. Yes. So let us now have the next slide. And so let's try to see whether this is a primary, a secondary, or a tertiary source. So again, your answers will be either primary, secondary, or tertiary. Number 1 is a dictionary. What is a dictionary? We now have an answer here from Arvik, Danette, and Renz, and they're saying it's tertiary. Let us check. What is the correct answer for number 1? Very good. That is a tertiary source. Very good. Let's now have number 2, Tutor Arnel.
Number 2 is interview with a witness. So is it primary, secondary, or tertiary source? So let's see. Number 2.
Do we now have answers here? Okay, number 2, Arvik says it's primary. Okay, so the answer is already here, and it says primary source. Very good. Let's proceed with number 3. Number 3, news article about a hero. And the correct answer for number 3, let's check the answers of our cuties here. Number 3, I mean, Number three, according to Arvik, it's secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number two, according to Nicholas, is primary. And according to Jerick, it's also secondary. Let us check. Is it primary or secondary for number three? Okay, number three, we have secondary source. Very good. Let's now proceed with number four. And Tutor Arnel,
So number four, it's thesis about an intervention. So students, is it primary, secondary, or tertiary?
okay, let us check their answers. Okay, number four, we have Arvik with a secondary source. So let us now have, and also John Steven. So what is the correct answer for number four? Let us check. Okay, so that's very good. That is secondary source.
Mm.
And let's proceed with number five. Biography of a chemist. Is it primary, secondary, or tertiary? What is the correct answer for number five? Let's check. Okay, so we now have for number five, Arvik with secondary, Jerick with tertiary, and Manilyn with secondary, Arvik with tertiary, Katrina with secondary, John Michael with tertiary. What is the correct answer for number five?
Okay, number five,
Okay, the
it's
correct answer is tertiary source. Very good. Okay. So Tutor Arnel, we already locked time, but we still have some more activities here. So maybe we can just inject this on the
mm-hmm.
next or the next tutorial sessions that we are going
Yeah,
to have.
that's
So
right.
can we now have the slides? Next slide po for week 7.
Yes.
And,
Ang cute pa naman natin dyan,
okay.
Tutor Drazen.
Oo nga eh, sayang naman. Kasi, ang dami nilang sinasagot eh, di ba? So, let's have week 7. Minadali talaga. Sorry po, sorry. Sorry for the, overtime na. Okay. So, let's have week 7, direct. Nalito tuloy ang aming, slide presenter. Yan, week 7. So, and I am very much convinced naman that they really remembered all the things that we have taught them. So, we will now proceed with the last activity. That would be week 7. Yan. So,
Alright.
that would be yan. So, week 7 is actually about transcoding information from linear to non-linear text. So, this was discussed during our last week in December, right?
Right.
So, for our
Before we
review
had our break.
session, yes, before we had the break. So, Tutor Arnel, can you please handle the review activity?
All right. So the review activity, of course. So since the topic is about transcoding information from linear or nonlinear texts, so we learned that there are two types of text. We have linear text, which refers to the traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to end to make sense of its content. So I think the slide would reveal it. So it follows a sequential reading path where the reader tries to make sense of the text through grammatical arrangement. So naka-arrange siya, hindi mo siya pwedeng basahin sa dulo or sa any part. So you really have to start from the very beginning of it. And of course, when we have what we call nonlinear text, this is non-sequential. When we say non-sequential, it's you can check on the information anywhere you want. You can start anywhere you want to. Okay, so maybe we can begin with the activity already.
Okay. So, I am very much, very memorable tong lesson na to for me because this is the
Mm-hmm.
first lesson I had with ETUlay. So, I'm
Oh, really?
celebrating my first year in ETUlay already.
Wow, happy
Yes.
anniversary.
Yes, 1 year of glorious experience. So we have, of course, the different types here of examples of nonlinear and linear text. We have the line graph, of course, and is it linear? or non-linear? That's what you're going to answer for number one. You're just going to identify whether it's linear or non-linear. Okay, let's have
Yes.
number one. What do you think is the answer? So according to Renz, it's non-linear. According to Danette, it's non-linear. So let us check whether your answer is correct. What is the answer for number one? Let's reveal the answer in the slide. It's
Mhm.
non-linear. Very good. Next, let's proceed with number two. Number two, Tutor Anel.
So, newspaper, is this linear or non-linear?
So let's wait for their answers. Number two, according to Arvik, it's linear. And for Richmond also, and Danette and Renz, it's linear. And Ifer also and Rhea. So what is the correct answer for number two? Let us check and reveal the answer. Linear. Very good. Number two is linear. Next, number three. Number three is a histogram. What do you think is a histogram? Is it linear or non-linear? Number three. Let's proceed with the answers for number three. Is it linear or non-linear? Danette says it's non-linear. Alriza is non-linear also. So let's have the answer for number three. Is it linear or non-linear? It's non-linear. So JM, you got it correctly, and Samantha also, and Lorraine. Let's have number four.
All right, number four, graphic organizer, is it linear or non-linear?
Let us check their answers. Okay, what do you think is the answer for number four? So we now have answers from Samantha, from Danette, from Richmond also, and they're saying it's non-linear. So please reveal the answer for number four.
Okay, it's
Okay,
non-linear for number
non-linear.
four.
And of course, we have the last item for our review session, number five. Okay, number five is a speech. What do you think? Is it linear or non-linear? What is your answer for number five? Okay, let's see. Number five, according to Danette, it's linear. And John Michael Janko also says it's non-linear. And so with Samantha and John Kevin. So, and for CJ, it's linear. And Janiel says it's also linear and with the same with JM. What is the correct answer for linear, for number five? Let's see. Let us reveal the answer for number five. Okay, very good. The correct answer is linear. So John, Kevin, April, Manilyn, and Alexandra, you got it correctly. Very good. So let's now have our next slide. Okay, so now this
Yes,
is the question. How was the activity? If you got no errors in, let me have a smiley face.
that's
Let me
right.
see. If you don't have any error for week 7, please give us a smiley face. Let us wait for the smiley faces that our tuties will give us. Okay, so Samantha Blasi is saying it was great. Thank you for enjoying the activity, Samantha. So we now have a lot of happy faces here. We have John, Kevin, and Samantha, and Rizel, and John Ronald, and Alriza, and Rasville also. Aaron also had a smiley face. So congratulations, everyone, for those smiley faces. That only proves that you really learned for this second quarter. And I hope you will also be learning on the third quarter. We'll try our best.
Mhm.
Tutor Ernell and I will try our best to make you learn more this third quarter. Tutor Ernell?
Yes. Okay. So I am really happy to see a lot of happy faces too, just like what Trey said. So congratulations. And let's see and let's be more participative in the third quarter. So I guess let's check now the objectives of our lesson if we were able to meet it this afternoon. So of course, The first objective that we have is recall the topics and the concepts learned from this quarter. So definitely we're able to recall every topic that we discussed this second quarter. So I guess with the topics that we learned, you were able to relate the importance of these topics in our daily life. So for example, the information, you really have to scrutinize it before you share it to other people. And of course, it's very evident, di ba, Tutor Draisel, that they manifested learning of the lessons of the second quarter by their active virtual class participation.
And
And
I
so
am
perfect.
very happy and proud of our students because they really learned a lot, diba?
That's
Sabi
right.
nga, naitulay natin lahat. Next slide, please. Okay, so for our exit assessment, if you would like to assess yourselves more, please have a scan of our QR code, or you may copy the link also and screenshot that. And please answer the Google form for the exit assessment. And for the next slide, we now have an evaluation, of course. So if you would like to give an evaluation or feedback about our way of teaching, Tutor Arnel and I, so you just scan the QR code or copy the link and then evaluate the session honestly. And of course, those comments that you're going to give will be considered, and that will be for our improvement. And of course, that will also be for your own benefit. So let's proceed with our next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't be giving any assignment for this week because we will be starting our week 1 for the third quarter next meeting. Okay? So let us now have a goodbye. Of course, for our session, goodbye Tutor Arnel. I am Tutor Grace from SDO Pasig.
Yes, of course. And I'm Tutor Arnel from SDO Pasig 2. See you again next Tuesday, same time, together with the English tutors on different time slots. Let's support them. Let's continuously learn through ETUlay.
And of course, up next, we have for English 8. Please watch also Tutor Rubeline and Tutor Jovet. Of course, you will also be learning a lot from them. Thank you very much for being with us
Thank
this afternoon.
you.
Goodbye, everybody, and God bless. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!